So, just walking around out here through the parking lot. Just had some lunch. There's this video, I forget what the fucker's name is. It's a response to, that silly little cartoon where they're singing about gun control or something like that. Gun bans. I don't really necessarily agree that with this country that a gun ban is such a good idea, although it has been somewhat successful in the European countries and so forth. But basically, I want to respond to the idea that he made that somehow immigrants from these, basically minorities are going to come in and change the landscape of the United States, because it's these minorities that come from countries with all of these authoritarian laws to them.
A full-scale weapons confiscation measure actually stands a chance of being approved in modern-day clown world America. America is increasingly diverse and multicultural. The left tells us this is our strength. But unfortunately, according to all available public polling, the majority of non-white Americans believe that gun control is a bigger priority than protecting individual rights. I'm not saying this to incite tensions or anything. This is just what the polling says. White Americans, according to polling and research, are the only group that believe protecting the Second Amendment is more important than gun control. When white Americans become the minority, there is a very real possibility that gun ownership will be significantly restricted or possibly even outlawed. I know I recently saw a huge influx of subscribers, so it's important that we go over this again. Demographics and politics are linked. Not because I want them to be, not because that's the way I want things to be, but that's the way of the world. So while it's fun to laugh at things like this for now, we should remain vigilant. If America's demographic trends continue and we get less and less white, a gun ban and gun confiscation gets more and more likely by the day. But the most important takeaway is this. We can laugh at these cosmopolitan Broadway elites and their dopey sing-along videos all we want, but in a few short years, none of this may matter. Our country's demographics are changing rapidly. Americans aren't having children, and the immigrants that come here to have children are bringing their left-wing authoritarian ideologies with them. It's not that this is how I want things to be. This is not my ideal world, but this is the truth we're presented with. The polling is clear. Unless immigration is stopped, Americans, by nationality, not blood,
We live in a land made of ideals, not blood and soil.
Our identity as a nation, unlike many other nations, is not determined by geography or ethnicity, by soil or blood. Being an American involves the embrace of high ideals and civic responsibility. We become the heirs of Thomas Jefferson by accepting the ideal of human dignity found in the Declaration of Independence. We become the heirs of James Madison by understanding the genius and values of the U.S. Constitution. We become the heirs of Martin Luther King Jr. by recognizing one another not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This means that people of every race, religion, ethnicity can be fully and equally American. It means that bigotry or white supremacy in any form is blasphemy against the American creed. And it means the very identity of our nation depends on the passing of civic ideals to the next generation.
Americans, by nationality, not blood,
will be prepared to repeal the Second Amendment within our lifetimes. And if that happens, the cosmopolitan elites like Roth and Gasteyer will be the ones getting the last laugh.
Look to the north, motherfucker. Canada has hate speech laws, for Christ's sake. And we'll get us to what the majority of the ethnicity is in that country. White. Same with all of those European countries that have these same type of laws. So the idea that somehow if we let some Mexicans or some Muslims in, that they're gonna vote to put hate speech laws on us and take away our guns, that's retarded. The white people in the other countries have already done it, you stupid fuck.